In order to help you understand the best way to evaluate a startup idea, I've got to begin by giving a bit of context and background. Bear with me for a few minutes as I explain some fundamental concepts in entrepreneurship. Now to start, I want to share something called the Model for Entrepreneurial Action. The Model for Entrepreneurial Action is a framework I helped develop. It comes out of Duke University. It illustrates the 3 core phases of an entrepreneurial venture as it moves from initial conception to an actual, impactful, scaled-out company. Those phases are, number 1, the discover phase, where you're discovering a market opportunity. 2 is the develop phase, where you're developing the actual solution or product. And 3 is the deliver phase, where you're focused on getting that solution into the hands of its users. Now, to be clear, I don't mean to imply that anything I'm describing here is somehow revolutionary or reflective of my brilliant insights. A lot of the most popular frameworks used to describe or teach the innovation process rely on, roughly the same phases. That includes concepts like biodesign, design thinking, some others you've probably heard of. The specific words might be a bit different between the different frameworks, but lots of people seem to agree that the entrepreneurial process adheres to the same basic 3-phased progression. Now, the reason I'm describing this progression here is, honestly, what it does is it helps me explain the number 1 most common problem that entrepreneurs run into when building their startups. I see it kind of all the time. New entrepreneurs, young entrepreneurs, inexperienced entrepreneurs, they tend to start in the develop phase. They get their brilliant startup idea and they immediately want to begin building it, whatever it is. Product, service, app, technology system, whatever. But as I just showed you in that model, the develop phase isn't the beginning of the entrepreneurial process. It's actually the middle. What's happening is that overexcited entrepreneurs start building their startups without ever spending the necessary time figuring out whether or not they should build them. They never do the necessary work to validate that a legitimate market opportunity exists. If a market opportunity doesn't exist, by market opportunity I mean if there's no market demand, or if you don't have a way of accessing that demand, which we'll talk more about in a little, then your startup won't succeed. Before you start building it, you need to make sure you've discovered and validated a real market opportunity. That's the core of what I'm trying to teach you in this lesson. I'm going to give you a strategy for assessing a market opportunity.